Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. I hope you are enjoying the videos. For more insight on HR practices and real corporate world exposure, please subscribe to our channel, like the video and do share it with others. Also, please press the bell icon to never miss an update from HR Success Talk. Thanks a lot. Enjoy this video.
Hi, I'm Annie Martin. I represent HR Success Talk, and today we're doing the episode 2 of HR audits. Now let me come back to where we were on the HR audits. So in any organization, in the Department of HR, we set HR practices, right? So there is a policy manual in place. We measure and assess current practices. Now, this is done in many ways. There can be a questionnaire, a checklist. Compare current employment practices against legal requirements and HR good practice standards. So it becomes, if you see an HR business audit, because it will help in the strategy to drive the organization in the right manner. Identify and recommend areas for changes or gaps. Implement legally compliant employment and good HR practices. Reevaluate this practice once in 6 months. It depends on the schedule that the organization sets. It depends on the schedule that has been put by various audit parties, internal and external audits, right? So this entire process, if you see, it is going through a cycle and it's a constant area of improvement for any organization. So in this particular episode, we address certain issues further to what we discussed in the previous discussion. So what to audit, right? HR audits are basically functional audits, like we spoke about. A HR audit looks at the various functions of the HR department. These audits often focus on specific aspects of the HR functions, such as hiring, recruiting, benefits, compensation, payroll, performance evaluation, resignation, termination, and post-employment. So if we talk about recruitment and hiring audits, what is being audited, right? Job descriptions, job applications, whether it's an internal reference, it's an IJP, it's through the website, whether from various job sites that we have, Indeed.com, Naukri.com, the basic hiring process, the scheduling of the interviews, pre-employment screening. Is your pre-employment screening compliant? Are we following, ensuring that all pre-employments happen before joining? Ensuring that the background verification is done before joining, of course. The hiring process. The entire hiring process is audited. Whether all the interviews as per the guidelines of the organization have been followed. What is the tag time in closing a particular position? Many organizations keep it as 30 days, 45 days. Procedure for notifying rejected candidates. It's very important to come back to the candidate, whether he's selected, rejected, kept on hold. And if rejected, then maybe if you can give the reason, it would be the best practice possible. Salary band fitment with years of experience and internal parity. Most organizations have a basic salary range or a certain banding that they keep for positions, whether that is met or not. Benefits audited. Majorly, we're talking about medical benefits, of course. Whether they are people who have got the medical benefits, whether they're eligible for it. So many organizations give different benefits to those on probation and those who have, been converted into full-time. Compensation, payroll, wages. So the various deductions when we are processing the payroll, right? So you have deductions, you have lots of pay, salary advance, whether this have been, checked, met. Are all employees paid at least the minimum wages? Because minimum wages in certain states change every 6 months, right? Is the company paying competitive wages as per the industry? If an employee is paid overtime, is the regular rate of pay properly calculated? Because this can lead to financial risk. Are these practices monitored to ensure equal pay practices for females or minorities? Nowadays, this has come up as a very important point, whether everybody is being paid equal, whether there's a difference in pay when it comes to gender. Performance evaluation at the time of confirmation, whether all these standards have been met. new JDs in case of promotion. Whenever you get promoted, you're going into the next position. So whether a new JD has been issued and whether if you're taking up that particular position, say from an assistant manager, you're moving to a manager, have you been trained to become a manager and are you equipped with the adequate skills and knowledge? Training need identification during confirmation and during appraisal. We get a lot of training input as to where the person should be probably in the coming 6 months to 1 year, whether these have been probably identified and whether these have been met in the previous resignation and termination, exit interviews conducted, an analysis whether it's in place, is the employee's clearance formalities done as per the process and the FNF duly done, what steps were taken to ensure that the company's property and passwords, again very important, this is part of the clearance process, but then it's separately discussed also here. Reason being is it is today in the cybersecurity issues that we face. This is an area of concern and needs to be addressed likewise. So this is taken up as an IT audit within the HR. When to audit? Now, the basic HR audit usually takes around 1 month and the implementation of the action plan usually takes around 3 months to be done. So what recommendation usually in the industry is to practice HR audit processes at least once in 6 months. In between, what we should do is we should have spot audits, that is suddenly audit, or you should have a focus audit. Like you just target one specific HR function, say payroll, and you audit that within the 6 months, because after 6 months, you have your proper HR audit in place. What to expect? Now, what do you expect from these HR audits? It provides a detailed vision of the human resources department, function-specific review, encourages compliances, promotes positive change, provides valuable data, especially related to benchmarking as well as internal parity. Now, who should conduct an HR audit? Now, there are, like we mentioned earlier, there are 2 types of audits that happen. One is an internal audit, one is an external audit. Now, internal audits are conducted by employees. Many organizations set up a committee for the same. External audits are done by external auditors who are actually from an outside firm. Cost of an HR audit. Now, if you're conducting an internal audit, there is practically no expense in this particular area. But yes, if you conduct an external audit, then we will have expenses. The auditors will definitely come probably from outstation. Usually quality audits, you have auditors coming from outstation. Then we definitely have to bear the expenses related to travel, stay, food, lodging. And mostly what vendors do is they actually have the same build up in their contract when they give the contract to you. So that's an additional cost that the company incurs. I hope most of the questions that you have related to HR audits have been addressed in this particular session. If not, we look forward to your questions so that we can better up our slides and present a better deal for you. Thank you so much for your time and patience.